Hello and welcome to my Crochet Winter Keychain series, where I teach you how to make a variety of fun winter-themed crochet keychains. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this super adorable Santa hat keychain. This has a nice cute little pom-pom on the top, and it does have like a slight curve. You can also make this in a green color if you would prefer to make a little elf hat. To begin, you will need to have the following items. Pliers if you are choosing to create a keychain with an actual keychain attachment, a pair of scissors, a crochet hook. I have a 5mm crochet hook, some yarn. I use the Caron Simply Soft. I have a red and a white yarn, and then I would highly suggest getting either a piece of cardboard or something so you are able to make that pom-pom. To start this pattern, I will highly suggest getting a piece of cardboard and something to measure with. You can always just kind of estimate with it, but I highly suggest making your piece of cardboard just over an inch. So I'll take my pencil by about 2 inches. You can also kind of just estimate it. It doesn't need to be anything too big. You just want to try to make sure that that 2 inches is the 1 inch is accurate. From here, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make a little notch at the top and a little notch at the bottom. This will kind of be our way for how we will make that little pom-pom on the very top. I'm going to be making my pom-pom with white yarn. So what I'll do is I'm going to just cut a long piece, probably about the size of my hand. And what I will do is I will be tucking it on one side, where I made my top notch, if I can get it in there, and then tucking it on the other side where I made my bottom notch. It doesn't need to be anything super perfect. This is kind of just so we can simply make our little pom-pom on the top. From there, I'm going to take my yarn and I'm just going to wind it around. I highly recommend winding it maybe like 20 to 30 times. And I'm just going to pull from one notch and pull the other one. Kind of going to make it a little more even. And I'm going to tie a very tight knot right here on this side. Very, very tight as you can get it. Otherwise, if you do, they do make pom-pom, like actual pom-pom makers. If you have one of those, even better. I will try to kind of scooch this so it is in the center in this back side. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip. That tail that was still connected, I'm just going to trim it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of shimmy my pair of scissors under and slowly snip until the yarn is free. It's going to look a little crazy at first. Try to keep these two pieces you tied together on the other side. Then I like to kind of take this and I'm going to shape my pom-pom. Now I don't want it to be anything too big or too small, so I kind of pull all of the pieces and just kind of pull it so it's almost like a tassel now. And I'm going to slowly snip it into more of a pom shape. I like to take the pieces that are closer to the end and make those ones a little bit shorter than the ones on the top. From here, I like to save these little extra pieces. Those can kind of be used as filling if you're ever short on fluff, polyfill. And then I'm just going to take it and kind of rub it together. It gives it more of that fuzzy pom-pom type feel. It kind of loosens up the fibers too, especially if you're using that Caron Simply Soft. This will make it really look like a nice pretty pom-pom. All right, and right there you have your pom-pom. Like I said, I highly suggest starting with your pom-pom to begin before starting with the pattern. Next, we'll be moving on to making the actual hat. We're ready to finally start making that hat. So we will start with our red yarn. Again, you can use a green yarn if you would prefer to try to make this into more of an elf's hat. What I will do is I will make a magic ring similar to a slip knot. I'm going to hold and pinch, cross in the back, flip it on over and go under, over, pull it through and twist. Then slowly release my fingers, keeping a nice large loop. Now I'm going to chain one and I will do 4 single crochet into my magic ring. 3 and 4. Now that I have done my 4, I can take the tail from my magic loop and pull it ever so tightly. And now it's time to keep working on that hat. The next round will be as simple. We're going to just do 4 single crochet, so 1 in each stitch. It is a little bit tricky when working in a small magic ring, so be prepared to have to kind of pull things tighter as you go. So I will do my 4 single crochet, 1 in each stitch. This will give it a nice point at the top. Three, and finally 4. You'll kind of want to take that center and kind of push it on out. So again, if you see, you kind of have like a little bit of a point right there. All right, now we will begin a round of increases. In this one, you will increase in each stitch and end up with 8 single crochet. By increasing, you will be doing 2 single crochet into each stitch. All right, now that we have done a round of increase, what we will do is 8 single crochet. So 1 single crochet into each stitch. After this round, we will kind of begin our little odd increases. Those odd increases kind of give it that curved shape. So it looks like it's kind of hunched over. All right. I'm just going to scooch that. All right, so like I said, we're going to start doing an odd type of increase now. For this, what we will do is we will start with 2 single crochet. So 1 single crochet into the first stitch, 1 single crochet into the second stitch, and now we will be doing 4 increases. So that will be 1 increase into the third stitch, another increase into the fourth stitch, another increase into the fifth stitch, and 1 more increase into the sixth stitch. And then you will do 2 single crochet. So you will do 1 single crochet in the 7th stitch and 1 single crochet in the 8th stitch. Right there, you should now have 12 single crochet. Again, we will do a stagnant round of 12 single crochet all the way around. So now when you're looking at it from the side, you will kind of notice that there's a little bit of a curve to it. You'll see one side is a little bit wider than the other one. From here, we'll do another round of those weird, odd increases. This time we will do 4 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 4 of those increases right back to back. So you will do 1 increase, 2 increase, 3 increase, and 4 increase. And then we will finish off with 4 single crochet. All right. You should have finished off with 16 single crochets now. You will just do a stagnant row of 16 single crochet all the way around. Oops. All right, so again, you'll see it has, whoops, more of that curve out to the side. So it is starting to look more like a Santa hat. So now, before we continue further, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add on that pom-pom. Adding on that pom-pom will make it so it's kind of a little bit easier to trim the edges off from the inside, so we don't really have to worry about there being kind of extra pieces flying around. So what I do is I take my hook and I will actually just poke right into the middle, all the way up to the top. And like I had told a bit earlier, I suggested leaving 2 long tails. What you'll do is you will take one of those tails and pull it on through into the center, if I can get it in there. Oops. Sometimes, clearly, I'm struggling. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna try to just use a smaller hook, Give me 1 second. I'm going to do the same exact thing that I was trying to do, as you all had to watch me struggle. I apologize. And there we go. See, much easier with a smaller hook. I guess if you're having any troubles, go ahead and just use a smaller hook. And then I'm going to go onto another side, not entering through the same exact hole, and do the same thing, pull it on in. So yeah, for that I just used a 3.5 millimeter hook, so just something smaller. What you're going to do is you're going to kind of flip it inside out, not completely, because you'll take those 2 tail ends, and as long as you did them through 2 separate holes, you should be able to tie it up nice and tightly so that that little pom-pom does not get lost. And then you could go ahead and trim your excess. It can be a little trickier to get that pom-pom on if you get too far in. It just makes it a little bit harder. Oh, I do like to clean up my pom-pom after I've put it on. I see some silly pieces kind of just all a little crazy. All right, so it's kind of starting to look like a little Santa hat. Our next piece, we will do 1 more of those odd increases so we can get to 20. So what we will do is we will do 6 single crochet, whoops, and 4 increases. And then again, 6 single crochet. All right. So there our Santa hat is starting to come along. I'm not going to record the next little bit, but what you will do is you will do 3 rounds of 20 single crochet. So you'll do 3 rounds around, and then I will join you from there. All right, so now that you have done your 3 rounds of 20 single crochet in red, we are ready to switch on to the white yarn so we can finish this hat off. In order to switch colors, you will want to go back and take out this last piece you did. So essentially go back into here. So you will have 2 loops on your hook. There you go. 2 loops on your hook. And we will take our white yarn. We will create a slip knot. And instead of finishing with that red, we will finish off with the white. From here, we're just going to do 2 rounds of 20 single crochet in the white. After I've crocheted over the red just a tiny bit, I will take it and cut the red off and continue around with my white yarn. I will pause and let you continue those 2 rounds of 20 in white. All right, now I've completed my 2 rounds of 20. It's time to finish off. What we'll do is we'll cut the white, we'll give it a decent tail. How I like to do it is I will skip this next stitch, go into the second stitch, and I will pull my tail through, pull it a little tight but not too tight, and then I will go right back into that first stitch that I was working in, that I finished off in. And I will pull that tail right back through. And then I kind of just weave my end up and down, back and forth, so that I do feel like it is nice and secure. This is a super easy pattern, great for beginners. I highly recommend making it if you're doing craft fairs. Keychains are a huge sell. and they are super quick, easy to make, and they really, if you don't want to make big items, they'll kind of sell a lot faster. All right, so I've completed my little Santa hat. From here, I like to shape it a little bit, pull and tug on the center so it kind of gives it a little more shape, and then take my little edge, fold it over a little bit more. If you'd like, what you can do is you can take some yarn. All right, so here it is completed. If you'd like to kind of give it a little more shape and a little oomph to it, what I recommend is take some of that red yarn. You're going to take a large sewing needle. This is definitely not something necessary, but if you want it to have more of a little bit of a better shape, I'll go under, inside, and then I'll kind of go to where the top is and pull my yarn all the way up, and then I kind of go right back down into where I was, and this will kind of just give it a nice little fold over, so it almost looks like it's kind of hanging off to the side there. And what I'll do is I'll just kind of go from the inside and tie a nice tight knot. Sometimes you got to fold it a little bit. Taking two pieces, I'll tie a nice tight knot. And this will kind of give it a little bit better of a structure for the long term. This is also just a recommendation. This is not something you have to do. And flip it right back out. And there you have it. You have a nice, cute little Santa hat. So like I had said earlier, I really love to add on little keychain attachments, kind of give my product a little bit better of a look. Doing that is super easy. You just need 2 pairs of pliers and your keychain pieces. So here's just like a little adapter piece that you'll connect your keychain actually onto. So I like to add my keychain kind of up here where the fold is. I'll weave it right through, plop on the actual keychain piece, take my other set of pliers, and you'll just pinch those 2 pieces together. And just like that, let me trim this little piece here. Just like that, you have your very own adorable Santa keychain. Again, you can make this with a green yarn if you're trying to make more of a little Santa's elves hat. And the nice thing about this is it really doesn't require much. You don't need to have any polyfill. You do not have to stuff these, which is super great. All you really need is some yarn of your colors of choice, and it's perfect. Up next, I'll definitely be going over how to make a candy cane keychain, and then probably a few other special ones will be coming soon. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, and comment. Let me know your thoughts. As always, stay crafty and stay adventurous. Thank you.